Welcome everyone, and let's have a look at today's episode, which is again gonna be around positioning in this week's weekly challenge. I think you liked it the last time. I heard a lot of positive comments. Please just again, if there's any feedback, if there's anything I should improve, anything I should mention in particular, let me know. But let's get started. First of all, I think we should once again have a look at what are our categories of units, right? I have already built all the units because this series is not about getting a possible high score, but explaining you a positioning that is holding with 100% score, which means all units are involved. But you achieve a hold, right? And then I want to give you the insights on how you had to position it that way. And then you can maybe transfer this knowledge to your game. First of all, let's categorize the units once again. Maybe press tab. Before that, we have the Daphne. We had it last week already. Obviously a DPS unit, right? This is our damage unit. Plus, it has the passive effect that gives a mark on the unit, and any other unit attacking the same target will deal bonus damage. And we have the Fire Archer, same DPS unit, right? We have the Atom, obviously a DPS unit. And we already get towards the tank units where, well, we have the Bone Crusher, right? A little bit of the Bone Warriors. And the Nikomata is like in between a tank unit and a DPS unit. But since it's wave 7, Nikomata has arcane defense. I think it is a little bit more towards the tank unit, while it actually will deal enough damage overall. And last but not least, we have the Sea Dragon here, which is some sort of a supportive unit, right? It's gonna heal. It's not too efficient on wave 7, obviously, since it does only deal magic damage and it does not really deal the biggest amount, hence natural HP. So overall, the unit is wide weak for this wave 7. But how did I position the unit? Once again, you usually try to have as many units split focus as possible. Maybe we just let it run and then we will talk a bit more about it. So we press ready, the game starts. I mean, first of all, you have to mention, right, we have 885 value and the send is only a mimic, right? So overall, this is a quite small send, but we see it already here. The Daphne tanked quite a bit. Now it's the turn for the cat to tank. The Sea Dragon, meanwhile, always making sure that we have some heals going on all the units. And last but not least, we have the Mimic. You could also try to build a positioning where you snipe the Mimic, but this is not as consistent as this hold here, so that's why I'm gonna show you that. Now, if you have a look at the damage graph, maybe I move it to the middle real quick, we see the Daphne, which I categorize as our damage unit, did overall deal by far the most damage. And if we look over, the Nikomata did tank the most, which is quite obvious, right? It has arcane defense. It does have the highest HP pool, plus getting the Sea Dragon heals on top does even increase the actual amount tanked. Daphne obviously just a very strong damage unit. When we now talk about the positioning, I think if you are familiar with my splitting guide, you know there's always the strong side and the weak side in Legion. Usually people tend to build on their strong side, which is always going to be the left. And this strongs, or people choose to have the left as a strong side for just better pathing. And that's the same what I do here. This is just good overall for the later game to be a bit more consistent in manipulating the tank. That's why I have my main damage, the Daphne, Fire Archer a bit, and the Proton. They're all on the left side, right? You want all your DPS in one spot, especially if you have Daphnes, because you want all those units to focus down the same target and burst it to get rid of a large amount of opponents at a time. This is why the main DPS, those units here, and as I said, the cat is in between a tank and a DPS unit, it's all on the right side. Next on, you see, if I click on the Daphne, you see the cat is exactly on the range, right? This is for the early game. I have tried to build something that you would really get into, right? This is not a build you go for, okay, now this is my wave 7 build, but this is actually a build I constructed for you that could be a really normal game where you build your game up. Wave 1 Daphne start, wave 2 Daphne, then you go 3 into the cat, and then you would build the cat exactly here on the range circle, 3rd column. Why is that? Because you want your Daphne to tank a little bit, as we saw on the wave, and you want to split tank with the cat. So the Daphne is gonna take the few units that are the most left, and the cat is gonna tank the other part from the units that path towards the left side, and then later on it's gonna tank the split units as well. So you already have this aggro share in this build starting wave 1. This is why the cat is placed here, and then last but not least, why are those units here? First of all, the bone crushers in the split. That was the idea behind, okay, this is the build, right? How would you develop it? And on wave 5, you do have the Daphne, you usually would have the cat, right? And then you kind of want another tank that is actually good in wave 5. The Bone Crusher is obviously the perfect example. And on wave 5, you already have cat and Daphne. The Daphne is gonna tank the boss like this. And together with the cat, it is able to shut it down quite fast. And you do want your tank, maybe to tank the split side on wave 5, some of the scorpions. So you would probably build the Bone Crusher on the right side. So this would be a very good build for wave 5, and then with the Bone Warrior here, you just adjust the split a little bit, and then you spam some more tier 1s to just soak up some damage later on. You could as well place this one on the other side. This is just a thing I did now. So this is the main things, the main steps how this build could have developed, probably would have developed in a high elo game, and also the explanation on why it is positioned now like this. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the weekly challenge. I hope you maybe got some insights. Especially interesting, I think, is how the build would develop in a normal game, right? Daphne 1 and 2 into the cat on 3, getting maybe some 1 or 2 more stacks on the cat on wave 4, and then later on you get the Crusher on 5. I think this is a natural development that is actually quite suitable for such a build. I hope you liked it. Have a good time. Bye bye.